Hello everyone! Today the trick that I wanted to share with you is my to-do list. My list that I use to keep myself totally organized and prepared. It is so useful. This is my second year using it, and this is the first year where I've really stuck to it, and it is such an amazing tool to use to reduce stress and to accomplish more things. So let's take a look at what I have on my list. So here is my list. It is organized in two general categories. We have the general to-do, which all goes by Monday through Friday. And then on this section, we have art 1, 2, and 3. And so this top section we'll go through here in a second, but the bottom section, I generally will write for each day kind of the things that I need to prepare for the specific classes. Right now, there's nothing on here because I already got my stuff copied for next week, but sometimes it's very useful for that, and then I may also have to do specific notes for each class. For example, I covered up his name, but this particular student is banned from using the restroom in my classroom because he keeps on using it excessively. So, or at least he's banned for a while, by the way. It's not permanent, but I put that kind of little notes like that, and then the general note, I have to finish some grading kind of things for next week. So let's take a look. Up here on the to-do items, it's not ordered perfectly, but there are a couple of general categories. The first general category are kind of meetings or big things I have to do, such as tutorials. So I have my tutorials on there. My weekly meeting is on there. My duty is on there. Those weekly things that don't happen every day but happen quite a lot are on there. And attention is under that category. Then there are daily things. So, for example, we have lesson prep, which for me can mean making copies or rewriting the warm-up on the board or the date, things like that. There's ISS work. If I have a student in ISS, I have to send them some work, in school suspension, by the way. And Remind, I have to think about if I need to send a notice on Remind, which, by the way, is a really good system to keep in contact with parents. And then there are some things on there that I have to do, but I don't have to do every day, such as call parents. I have designated for myself 3 days out of the week in which I will call parents. And so on Tuesday, Wednesday, I try my best not to call parents unless I've assigned like attention or something. But that just helps my brain a little bit to not think that I have to call parents every day, which is not a fun thing at all. And then the next category of things on here is my planning cycle. And so on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I plan for art 1, 2, and 3. And that planning means the unit plan, which is my conceptual plan for the project, as well as the daily lesson plans. So that's spread out there, and that's also why there isn't much going on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because those are 3 big things that can take a while if I have to write a unit plan from scratch. But some days it's super fast because I don't have to write the unit plan. So that's the first part of my lesson plan cycle. The next part is to pull and make activities, and that means any worksheets or lesson notes, things like that. That's what I do there. And then the last part are copies. So I would copy any of those worksheets and stuff I did. And then print and turn in my lesson plans. They're due on Mondays. And our principal actually reads through them because we're trying really hard this year. So he reads through them. So that's why that's there. So that's the planning cycle. And then the rest of it are kind of maintenance things that happen or need to happen once a week. And that starts on Tuesday. I have update extra time, which I'll talk about in another video, but generally I just pull activities or copies for that. And then on Wednesday, I clean out my pencil boxes. I like to check them for trash, see if I need to add any pencils or markers. I also pull scrap paper. We keep scrap paper in our copy room, and it is super helpful for kids who forget paper. And then on Thursday and Friday is when I do most of those little things. And they're on Thursday and Friday because the planning at the beginning of the week takes a while. And so on Thursday, I like to do DAP work, and that's handwritten. It's not typed because that's a new thing. We just got students in DAP, which, by the way, is an alternative school, so those students are have discipline issues. And then Friday has a ton of things on there, but they're all like really little things, such as updating my website. If we're starting a new project, I like to post something. If it's been a few weeks since I post a general announcement, I'll do that. Got to update the quote of the week, print a new checklist. At that point, I'll also assess and see if there's anything else I need to add in there. Copy for warm-ups. I have a kind of a format sheet that I use for warm-ups, so I got to copy, make sure the kids have enough. And then the last thing is update hall passes. I turn them in weekly, and so I like to put a new one out per week. Helps me keep track of who's used the restroom. So that's my checklist. Hopefully that gives you some ideas. This has worked so well for me. Even if I don't stick to it strictly, it really helps me define quite clearly what I need to get done. Last year I had it, and honestly, I did not stick to it by day very well. I skipped around quite a lot, and that was because it was very tough for me to keep on track with planning. Last year was my first year where I had 2 different art classes, 2 different levels. The years before, I only had 1. Everybody did the same thing pretty much. So that's why it was a little tough for me. I was adjusting. This year, I have stuck straight to it and just stick to that because I know I have so much to do this year. And on top of all my 3 different classes, I have lots of extra little projects and things that I'm helping with. So keep that in mind. If you make yourself a weekly checklist like this, don't be hard on yourself if you don't stick to it. It's still going to be super helpful for you. So let me know if you have any thoughts, questions, or comments, or suggestions for things you want to hear about in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you like teacher videos. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.